Yeah, so my name is Liz Burke. I'm a senior and I'm an environmental studies major. So mostly I use oil paints. This year though, I've tried experimenting with printmaking, but mostly I do a lot of painting and drawing. So I think it's probably because I'm an environmental studies major, I'm not sure, but I like to paint a lot of natural scenes, especially animals and creatures. So a lot of my current work actually is based off of photos that I've actually taken and places that I've been and just recreating them in a different format. So I think actually a lot of the stuff that's already up is gonna be included. All of the stuff is actually work I made this year for the intent for the ASE. I'm definitely trying to experiment with trying to translate natural elements geometrically. Like it's kind of like a cool challenge that I've done.
See that in the hedgehog?
Porcupine, yeah. But so that's what I'm trying to do. So it's kind of fun. So the plan is right now to include most of the works in there. So I say visually, like definitely a big focus on shapes and colors. I'm not actually trying to get the colors so much realistic, more as like bright and like they grab your attention. Conceptually, it's definitely about kind of honoring the subjects that I have and getting people to see the beauty that I see in them. And so I kind of feel like by breaking it down into geometric shapes, it's kind of conducive towards doing that because it causes like the viewer to stop and think, to actually try and figure out what they're actually looking at. So when I was like younger, like I loved Impressionism just because it was bright colors, but they were using like these cool shapes to translate something that like didn't match those shapes, which I thought was really fascinating in like any contemporary and abstract art. Because I just like conveying different ideas. Yeah, so there's actually at least 2 more paintings that I want to do. One's actually of one of my favorite overlooks back at home, which I'm really excited about doing.
Where are you from?
I'm from around Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep, and then I'm going to do another print of a turtle.
Rolling.
Tune's rolling.
Audio rolling.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good. All right, so the work is finished and submitted. How are you feeling about everything? Do you feel like it was a success? Are you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I felt like I made a lot more pieces in different ways than what I was expecting when I first entered the course. But I'm really excited how it turned out just because I tried like translating or doing art in a different way than what I'm used to. But I really like the turnout, especially for the prints too. Because when I first developed the idea this semester, I didn't have like the end product in mind of how to do it. But I really liked how they ended up turning.
Yeah, they look great. Do you want to talk a little bit about that process for you? Like what you...
Oh yeah, I can definitely talk about that. So what I ended up doing was I started off with a piece of paper and then I dug dirt. I actually took a shovel and walked to the field and like dug up some dirt.
Nice.
Brought it back to the studio. I crumpled up the paper and then I smoothed the dirt into the grooves of the paper. And then I made some tea and I painted the tea on top of it to create this dyed effect. To kind of create this aged effect basically because I was dyeing the paper. And then I took a lighter and I burnt the edges to also give it that more aged appearance. And then after I prepped the paper with that, I just applied ink to those stamps that I had made for the design, and then I put that on the paper.
Was there anything that you weren't able to include that you wanted to?
Originally there was one piece that I wanted to do. It was going to be like a stump piece that had a lot of fungi on it. But that project actually turned into the octopus one, actually.
Okay.
Because I was having difficulty translating it.
Yeah.
And I was going to return back to that piece. But with the time crunch, I wanted to focus more on my prints rather than trying to press in another painting in that last week.
Yeah.
So I ended up with the same number of pieces I had planned, but they're different patterns. Yeah. I mean, I think the prints are a favorite, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to decide because it's a toss-up between these two paintings that I did.
Yeah.
I think the reservoir painting is actually one of my favorites because it's just kind of like soothing to look at. But I mean, they're both locations that I've been before.
Yeah.
So when I see the image, so when I see my painting, I think of my experiences at that location, which is like very nice.
Yeah.
As well. So it's hard to decide. I think that I'm definitely going to continue this style of art at least a little bit after graduation, because I am going to go back to that stump piece that I didn't do yet.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I'm going to do what I usually do and just kind of explore different, like whatever I'm feeling like art-wise to do. Like I know that my friend wants me to paint a piece for him at some point for like a D&D character. So like that's not nature-oriented, but it's still a project that I'm excited about doing because it's something different.
Totally.
So I think I'm still going to be doing artwork, but it can go back to this style, but then it might vary as well. It's whatever I'm feeling, kind of my interests are falling.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. We're really excited to see the finished product. And those are all my questions.